यस्य स्वयं स्वभावाप्ति रभावे कृत्स्नकर्मणः तस्मै संज्ञानरूपाय नमोऽस्तु परमात्मने। नमो अरिहन्ताणं नमो सिद्धाणं नमो आयर्याणं नमो उवज्जायाणं नमो लोये सवसाहुणम्। पंच परमेष्ठी भगवान की जय। सभी 9 टाइम्स नमोकार मंत्र पढ़ लें। So, in our last session, we were learning about how um, this moha, right? This word you should remember, moh, right? Mohena samvritam jnanam. What that means was, moh is some kind of a delusion, right? It acts like an intoxicating drug, something like alcohol or substance, right? Which can impairs. So moha can impairs the soul's ability to recognize its true self nature. It's that strong and dangerous for soul's perspective. Do you understand this part? When we say moh, what does that mean? Aditya, you want to add something? Do you understand?
Yeah, so I mean, I think it's just like excessive attachment to like maybe people, places, things, like any material, like objects in a way. Um, and so essentially not being able to like let go or not being able to realize that, hey, like I don't actually own this or I don't actually have power over this.
Hmm.
This is something that I have access to, like a resource, but it's something that you think you own, but you don't truly own, if that makes sense.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So what you have explained is, I would say, is true, but
Mhm.
partial. Partial in the sense incomplete, I would say.
Okay.
Why incomplete? Because more is not just attachment, it is our belief as well. You know, why our belief? Like we believe so much, right? That, oh, I am a person, or I am a man, or I am a boy, I belong to this family, I belong to this religion, I believe um, things can come easily to me, I believe that things cannot does not come to me easily, whatever, right? Beliefs can be so many. These beliefs can be there, but we don't even know that we know them. It's there. It doesn't mean, even if we don't know, and if it is there, that's still a moh. Why? Because moh is not just attachment, it is not realizing who you are, or not being who you are, right? So whenever we are not who we are in moh. And we cannot be all the time, oh, I'm a soul, right? Whoever has that kind of awareness that they are soul, then we can say that they have um, either destroyed their moh, or they at least partially, or for some time, they just pressed it down. It's not even in fruition, because moh is mohniya karam, right? So when we say mohniya karam is creating a delusion about our own identity. So whatever identity we know about ourselves is totally moh. Make sense?
Okay, got it. Yeah, so basically are
Yeah.
pre-existing beliefs that
Yes.
you continue to believe day by day. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Any kind of belief about our identity is moh. Because in spiritual world, we are not the body. And whatever we have, the identity, made the identity is through the body, right? So even our family, even our where we are living, our habits, our values, everything is moh, is delusion. It's not a delusion in the world we are living in. We can say, oh, I am aware, I'm not intoxicated, I know what's going on. But in terms of spiritual world, we all are in delusion. I know it's a harsh truth, but it is truth. Okay. Um, then you can ask question, then what do we do with this knowledge? Can we do anything with this knowledge? Um, yeah, you want to say something?
Yeah, no, I was just going to answer the question.
Yeah, please. Yeah,
I think I was just going to bring up the observation. I think knowing all of this, I think the best thing you can do is, still like go about your life,
yeah,
but then basically keeping in mind that, hey, like, anything I do or anything that happens,
yeah.
it's not like a direct reflection of me. Like, this is not who I
True.
am. So basically being able to, keep yourself separate from that.
Separate, exactly.
Mhm.
It's very, very powerful practice if we can little bit bring it in our day-to-day life, like when we are dealing with tough situations. And if we are able to detach ourselves from the situation, you will be amazed how easily we handle it because it's happening. We can see it's happening with some person called Aditya, but it's not
Yeah.
me.
Got it. Okay.
So it's really, really powerful.
Mhm.
Yeah. Arin, you want to add something? Mm, okay. Do you understand then what is the benefit of knowing this? More is very important to understand. A lot of people who can totally memorize the textbooks, scriptures, shloks, gatha, everything. But if they don't understand who they are, there is no use of this knowledge. So that is why it's very important to give some time to reflect on the word moh. What kind of delusion they're talking about? All right. Why they're calling us intoxicated, right? We are in spiritual world, right? What is in our benefit and what is harmful for us? What do you think? Aditya, want to share? Anshi, you want to share? Actually, Aditya has answered. In the spiritual world, what is in our benefit and what is harmful for us?
Wait, so just to clarify the
Mhm.
question, like,
Yes.
um, you're kind of asking, like, what does our, like, religion, I guess, say that what is good and what is bad for us,
Yeah.
basically,
Yes. For ourselves,
for
right?
ourselves.
Not for the world, but for ourselves. What is good, what is bad?
Um, I think, like, what is bad would be, like, what we were talking about Mo and, like, having that over attachment to our possessions and our identity. Of
Very,
like as our body instead of like our
yes.
atma, but like who this body is in this world and
Yes.
having an over attachment to that.
Yes.
And
Yeah, perfect. So we can call it over attachment or we can call it all these karmas because moha is mohniya karma, right? And if even one time a strong mohniya karma, thought of mohniya karma, whatever we are acting, whether it's in the thoughts, it's in the speech or action, whatever we are doing, even the one single act can collect the karma of millions and millions of years, you know. So that is why it's called bad for us, bad for the soul. It's harmful. All right. And the more and more we are aware about who we are, that is beneficial for us. Why? Because again, in future, one gatha will come, one shlok, where we are saying, where we focus, we give the power to it. All right. We the where we give the attention, our energy goes there. right? We give the energy to that. So if we are giving the energy to our soul, that who am I? We are giving the energy to soul, and we are reducing the power of karma. All right. So that is why it's very, very important to understand the benefit of understanding, not knowing, just knowing, but understanding. Right. So, do you understand what's wrong Moh is doing with us now, Anshi?
Yeah, I think like a little bit to like at least some level I kind of see that why it's so just like a small amount can be so detrimental, I guess.
Mm-hmm. True. Got it. That way, at least you can understand that something is there which is can be very dangerous or very harmful for the soul, right? Arin, do you have any question? Do you understand what moh is? I think you were not there last class, so we have read shlok number 7, which was about talking about moh, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So moh is delusion of not understanding who we are. Basically, when we have sunglasses on, we see everything a little bit different colors, right? If it is red color glasses, we see everything red. We have green color glasses, we see everything green, right? Same thing with the moh. It's kind of a glass. We are not able to see things with the clarity. Okay, so we'll move on to the next shlok today, and we are looking at shlok number 8, right? And shlok number 8 is Vapurgraham dhanam dara putra mitrani shatravah sarvathanya swabhavani mudha swani prapadyate. What they are saying here, in this one, there is a pronunciation as well. If you want to ever, I am saving this in a sheet, I drive. I will share the link of the drive. Okay. So what that means is vapu and graha, vapuhu graha, dhanam dara, right? So vapu and vapu means body, and graha means house. Dhanam is our wealth. Dara is our wife, spouse, partner. Putra means our children. Mitrani, friends. Shatrava, enemies. These are the only relations we have in our world, right? Either we have friends or enemies. We have our spouse, or we have our parents, son, children, or we have our house, body, and wealth, right? These are the things we see us around us, right? Then Acharya says that the nature of all these, whether it's the friends, whether it's our children, whether it's our parents, whether it's our partner, even the wealth, their nature is totally different from us. That they will explain in the next few slides, few shloks. What is the difference? All right. But problem is mudha swani prapadyate. Mudha means foolish person. All right. Swani prapadyate. Swani means accepted their own. Prapadyate means accepting, considering them as their own. So I all the time I call my children's, my kids, my friends, my enemies, right? And I'm not just saying, I believe that they are my friends, they are my kids, they are my partner, right? This is my house. Whatever I am saying, this is mine, that mean I am a foolish person in terms of spiritual world. Isn't it something seems like, what? Is that true? Am I foolish? Am I that much foolish? But that is true. That is what Acharya is saying in this Katha, right? That All the objects, body, house, wealth, wife, son, friend, enemy, right? All are quite different in their nature from the soul. Foolish person, however, looks up upon them as his own, right? Everything you call mine is totally complete, separate identity, separate from you, and has totally different nature, right? So if we are calling it mine or I am, right, that is basically that is keeping us in a stuck position, and that's the suffering. All right. So what is then mine or me, right? In scriptural language we call swa. Swa means, in Sanskrit, swa means myself. So what is mine? It's called swa. What is other is called par. All right. So there is a list of items which is par. So body, home, money, family, friends, everything is par. That is not me or mine. Okay. Even if we call it's mine, that's, we are foolish. It's all because of the moh, right? Attachment or delusion. It clouds clear thinking like being intoxicated. So, the goal of this shlok is to realize that whatever is par is not me or mine, right? We can say that I am calling this as mine, but it's not mine. At least in our belief system, it should be clear that in the world, in the physical world, I'm calling it mine, but I know it's not mine. Make sense? Like, is it something very hard to understand?
No, it makes sense. Essentially, like you don't own anything. You're basically just managing like the resources that you have essentially.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
that is amazing. You are understanding. That's very hard concept to accept.
Hmm.
That how and some people are just like go crazy about this thing. It's a big shock, I would say. When I first time learned this like 16 years back, I was like, how, I don't know how to behave then, you know.
Yeah.
So it is hard, but the truth is, sooner we know, the better we can live our life, right?
Yeah.
That's very good. Good job. Yeah. So another thing, Acharya is saying that if this is happening with us, right? Everything we are calling it mine out of the delusion. Is there any way we can control ourselves, right? Is there any way we can feel grounded if there is something we can rely upon? And what Acharya is saying, okay, why only ways to deal with these situations are self discipline, right? Whatever you got in your life, right? You see that as, you know, there is a reason those things are in your life. Your friends are there in your life for some reason. Your family is there for a reason. Even the money you will get or you are getting is for a reason. It's everything is controlled by the karma. And the more you have self discipline, the more you can control your own life. Otherwise, you will feel your life is just flowing away from you because of the power of karma. So, that is the benefit of learning these scriptures, that we can at least be aware and what we are supposed to do so that we can take charge of our own life. You can see in the past, for example, when Adinath Bhagwan took the Diksha, he renounced the world, right? He became monk. Thousands, 4,000 king renounced the world with him. that, oh, we will follow Adinath, right? But they could not manage, they could not control their hunger, they could not handle the winter time, right? So they needed clothes, they wanted something. They were all very disturbed. Yet the Tirthankar doesn't even glance back at them. He isn't being unkind. He's simply focused entirely on his own path, not on managing what others do. So we are here for our own journey, not we are not learning on behalf of someone else. We are learning, whatever we are learning through scripture is for our own soul. It's our journey. So, just like how our Tirthankar followed just for themselves, it's no selfishness, it's not being unkind, it's the purpose of life. Our purpose of life is to control our own journey or life, because otherwise karma will take over. All right. So it's very important. But what happens is, majority of the time, you see people around worrying for each other, right? Grandparents, even if they turn 90 or 100, they are constantly just worrying for their grandkids' future. Instead of they are supposed to be thinking about their own inner growth. Why? Because getting the human life is very, very rare. You must have done something very good in the past life that you got the human being plus life, gen values. So if you just waste this in like living like others, like a fool, right? What's the point? Like, then you are just wasting your time and you wasted your such an important and precious life, right? So another metaphor Acharya is using, home as a cage, cage like a prison, right? And all these bonds with the family members, it as like a chain. They do not allow us to do something for our own good. Constantly we are into guilt, right? Oh, if I do something for myself, that might be very selfish, right? That is what the first thought comes in mind. But in spiritual world, that is not considered selfish, okay? But yes, it does not mean that whatever responsibility we have taken, we should leave that in between. We If we take any responsibility, it's a commitment, and you have to fulfill your commitment, and then only you can do something for your own good, you know. So that is something you have to remember. How can we use this in our day to day, right? For example, your own body, right? You look at your body, your height, your skin, right? Everything is changing. Your um, there is no comparison basically when we are comparing our looks with others, right? It's just the foolishness. You see that, right? Because it's not you. It's not the real you. Real you means your soul, right? It's just the your body you are comparing with. What's the point of comparison? With same with the house, your room, your house, you're comparing, right? So there is no need to feel superior or ashamed about your wherever you are living. By learning all these realities, you can start seeing things very clear. You will be seeing the world differently, right? For example, wealth, right? You have luxuries. For example, you have luxuries, and then one day you see that, oh, my phone is broken, are you gonna get sad or mad or something? No, because whatever is broken is not you, right? So it's just the things attached to you, right? You were attached to the things, those are impacted, not you. Same with the spouse or children, which doesn't apply to you guys, but that's parents, is same thing, siblings, right? The this understanding is creating that much of detachment, or like giving the priority to your own self, that if you feel like, oh, it is too much expectation, right? So don't let their expectation replace your own sense of self. You know yourself. So it's not being selfish again. It's about creating your own boundaries, that this is who I am. And if they have extra expectation, then you know that, right? You love your family, but it does not mean that you know you have to fulfill all the expectations. You have to have your own sense of self. Same thing with the friends. Friends can change, right? They are not going to be there forever. So if if you understand that these are all related to the body, and body is not permanent, that means friends are not permanent either, right? So friend circle shift in school, that's normal life. Same with the enemies. They're just the critic, they're others. So they cannot change, or they cannot um, take away your peace of mind. So basically, understanding the reality of all these relations we have, right? So, what exactly we should be doing so that we don't call foolish is, we build identity from the values, honesty, and a calm mind. The only things truly permanently yours, and that is who I am. So, who I am is really the thing I need to work on, right? The more and more maybe you chant this shlok, that everything what I see is per means other, right? So then we don't get too much attached. And if we don't get too much attached, we are not too much reactive. The more we attach, the more reactions we give. Once we have this awareness, we can easily respond rather than reaction. All right. So, what we have to learn from this shlok, what I have is not the same as who I am. Right? It is called like शरीर मेरा है, मैं शरीर नहीं. Make sense? शरीर मेरा है, लेकिन मैं शरीर नहीं. नहीं तो most of the time we feel like I am the body. When we get hurt or we are afraid of death, why? Because we think we are the body. In reality, we never die. We never get old, right? We never get hurt. Only body gets hurt. But soul is the one who knows, and who knows the pain, who knows the happiness. Okay? So that is all I have for today's shlok. Any question anyone has?
I
Yes,
have a
Anji.
question.
Yes, please.
So earlier you were saying like more is also like how you when you care for people
Mm-hmm.
and the things that you do for them. So I was wondering, is it also more when you say like, oh, like I don't like someone, is that also more? And then like the actions that you take. because you might not like that person, and then like what can you do to
Mm.
lessen that so I don't feel so much about why I might not like this person or have that kind of
Comparison, you mean?
yeah, comparison or just like in general, like you just feel like, oh, like I don't like that person. I don't want to talk
Mm.
to that person, or I feel like
Right.
they,
Right. Like why we are saying that I don't like this person because something is there which we did not accept it or we did not like it. Even we come to that conclusion, before that, what's happening? We have our own values, we have our own belief system, and the person is not matching with that belief system or values. We says, oh, I don't like it. That is not my values, right? So these values are more. Okay, more means delusion, and that happens when we have a belief system, that having the belief system itself is a more. So in the our world where we are living, we are dealing with people, having the right values is good thing, right? Having the good values and following that, and prioritize your values, can take you long way, and you will not be fearful, or even if you see someone who is different values than you are not afraid if you don't like that person. Why? Because you might be too young, but you will always find people who will let you down. Oh, there is something wrong in you that you don't like that person. I like that person, right? And then you start self doubting. Maybe something wrong in me that I don't like that person. Do you understand? So, to at your age, or what important for us in our behavioral world, that we have the right values and we have a strong belief in that values, all right, then don't worry about if someone is there who doesn't have the same values, you don't like it, it's okay, right? You will come to that conclusion after comparing, of course, but do not let others compare you with something which you don't approve of. Make sense, Sanjay? Does this help?
yeah, yeah, I got it. That
Okay.
helps. Thank you.
Yeah, you can always ask. See, I am answering from my understanding what I understood your question. If you think I did not understand it right, you can say that. It's okay, you know?
Yeah, no, I think I got it. Like what you said
Okay.
made sense to based on what I asked. So yeah,
Okay.
good. Thank
Wonderful.
you.
Sure. Very good. You're asking questions. I really uh, enjoy when you know you guys ask questions. Okay. Anything else?
Can I ask a question that's like not related to
Sure. Sure.
the
Totally
class?
fine.
Yesterday, we were reading this story. I forgot the name of it. The story where like there's the king who has some ambition, so then the Dave comes down to like he wants to see how he has it's the Nirvichikitsa Ang.
Nirvichikitsa.
So
Okay.
he's like he comes down as like a muni who's very sick,
Mm-hmm.
and then he like tests the king. I thought it was kind of strange to see like how the Dave is kind of like basically lying
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to just like satisfy his curiosity,
Yeah.
and like I feel like that's there in like so many stories where like the Dave will alter who they are or like their body to just
Mhm.
for their own like curiosity or desire to know something. And I was just wondering like is that just because they're trying to fulfill some like maybe genuine curiosity, is it okay to take that kind of action, or is that still wrong because technically it is a lie that he was doing this?
That is so nice question, actually. That is so nice because I never thought about this before. You know, that can they are okay to do that, or they also collect bad karma for lying, and they are doing out of their curiosity, and they have this power of changing their outer body. Then he can become anything, right? We have seen
Mm-hmm.
in many Puran.
Yeah.
Good question. See, Dev also collect the karma. It's not that Dev is not collecting the karma because they also feel jealous. They also compare themselves. They feel sad about it. So they are collecting karma for sure. So if they are pretending to be someone, kind of lying, and that is hurting someone, you know they must be collecting bad karma. It's not mentioned in any of the Puran that because they've lied, or they hide their reality, hid their reality, then they did this and collect the bad karma, or jhoot wala bad karma they collect. It's not mentioned, but I will think about it more. As you mentioned, it's really interesting question to me. Because I have read many Purans. If I come across any single instance where Dev is like punished or had to go through the consequences, I did not see that. That mean it is part of their normal behavior, you know, just like how they can fly, and flying can be disturbing, killing the microorganism, right? But that is their normal behavior. They can fly. So maybe that's how they don't collect the bad karma at that time. So
But then
something.
why would we collect like karma for our
Yeah,
normal behavior,
pretending.
like breathing or just walking if we're killing the micro?
Exactly, exactly. No, I'm sure either they are also collecting, but it's never mentioned because our scriptures are more focused on human beings, you know.
Yeah.
So, no, definitely it's a good question. Let me think more, you know.
Okay. Yeah. Thank
Yeah,
you.
wonderful. Okay. Anything, Aditya, you want to add something for that? For Anshi's question? Do you have any opinion?
Yeah, what was the question again? Sorry, I didn't quite
So
understand
what
that.
she was saying that, how in the Puran stories, when Dev comes with the changing their who they
Yeah,
really are, right? And then they pretend to be someone else. Do they get the karma of lying, bad karma,
yeah, I guess to a certain extent, depending on like what actions they take,
Yeah,
I would think so. If there's like some malicious intent behind doing that, then yes, I'm
right.
sure. But if it was maybe to like help someone or serve someone, then maybe not as much. Um,
Yeah, you know what? Like, even there is an instance in Padam Puranji, Ramji story. There is a Dev to Dev. They got so curious to see the bonding between Ram and Lakshman. They came down on Ayodhya, the city, and they said to Ram, sorry, they said to Ram that Lakshman died. Ram got sad. But when they went to Lakshman, said Ram died, Lakshman immediately died, right there. And they just understood, oh, they really had a good, strong bonding, and they just left from there. But because of their testing, Lakshman died. And
hmm.
then Ram was like keeping his body for 6 months on his back. So I'm wondering, are they going to get the bad karma of killing someone because of someone's lying or testing? Someone died, right? So I never seen anything about that Dev. That did he get any consequence about that?
Uh,
Um,
Potentially. I mean, if they're like,
it
if
could
they
be,
somehow
right?
caused it, right? Or if they
Yeah,
somehow became like the nimit, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it's very possible that they'll bind karma in that sense.
right. Right. So just like, but I will little bit do more research about it. Ask some Panditji why it's not mentioned anything about devs. You know, maybe
Yeah,
it's more focused on human beings that what we should be doing.
yeah,
Right.
possibly.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Great. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Okay, I think that is all for today. Let's do 9 times Namakar mantra. Jai Jinendra.
Jai Jinesh, thank you.
Jijin, thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Jai Jinendra.